iron thunder, and Sark was tense, slim rapier wavering before him, his face a shattered silhouette of half-broken fear. Below, in the bowels of the old stone block, something ululated, high-pitched and keening and far too feral to be human. It was followed immediately by a flurry of snarls and growls and heavy thuds and a scrabbling of brass claws clattering and booming through velvet black. It was the cankers, and they were coming for fresh blood. Kell's face was a thunderstorm filled with bruised clouds. Sark's face was hard to read, battered from a beating at the hands of Miriam's men, and his blood seeped through a torn and dirt-smeared shirt from a recent stab wound. Kell took a deep breath, nose twitching at fire from distant funeral pyres in the wake of the recent battle. He lifted Alana, and seemed, for a moment at least, to commune with the battered axe. The cankers drew close. The two men could hear the beast's heavy breathing on the stairwell. Suddenly, a pulse seemed to pound through the ancient deserted city, through the world. It was subsonic, an esoteric rumble, almost an earthquake. Almost. Sark allowed breath to hiss free between clenched teeth. His fear was a tangible thing, a stain like ink. He glanced at Kell. "We're going to die up here, aren't we?" Kell laughed, and it contained genuine humour, genuine warmth. He slapped Sark on the back, then rubbed thoughtfully at his bloodied beard, and with glittering eyes said, "We all die sometime, laddie," as the first of the cankers burst from the opening in a flurry of claws and fangs and screwed-up faces of pure hate. With a roar, Kell leapt to meet them. As the first canker leapt, so Kell's mighty axe slammed down in a savage overhead blow, splitting the head in two, right down to the twisted spine top. Flesh, brain, and skull exploded outwards, and mixed in there with muscle and bone shards were tiny, battered clockwork machines, wheels and cogs twisting and turning, clicking and shifting, clockwork gears clacking. And in a blur, Kell stepped back, dragging his axe with him, as the first canker corpse hit the ground, and he swayed from a swipe of huge claws from the second snarling beast. Alana, singing as she hammered left now, butterfly blades horizontal cutting free the canker's arm with a jarring thud, and a shower of flowering blood petals. The beast howled, but a third heaved and shouldered past, huge and bulky, the size of a lion, a disjointed, twisted lion with pale white skin bulging with muscle, like overfull bowels pressing against maggot flesh in an attempt to break free of a pus-filled abdomen. The canker was covered with a plague of grey fur, tufted and irregular, and its forehead was stretched right back. Its huge maw, 5 times the size of the human mouth, which had formed its template, skull open like an axe-chopped pumpkin, showing huge brass fangs which curled down from rancid gleaming jaws and were decorated with knurled swirls, like fine etchings in copper. The canker's body was covered in open wounds, and within each wound thrashed clockwork, a myriad of tiny spinning wheels gyrating spindles meshing gears. But whereas the pure vachine was perfect and noble and secure in its engineer-created arrogance, this canker, this deviation, this corruption, showed bent gears and levers and unmeshed cogs, and in a blur Kell leapt sideways, Ilana carving a parting line of muscle across the canker's neck like an unzipping of flesh. Despite pain and squirming, unreleased muscle, its sheer weight and bulk carried it forward, across the scattered concrete beams of the tower.